Okay, I wanted to say something about intercessory prayer. First, if you don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, go to the first video that says start here and then the second video that says October 1st. Okay, intercessory prayer. Intercessory prayer is when somebody is down and out and needs lifting up in the battle of life. So when somebody is struggling, when a Christian friend is struggling, we as Christians, we need to step in and lift them up in prayer. This is often somebody who is in the middle of a major battle, spiritual battle. A lot of times it's somebody who is doing a significant work for God, and a lot of times they are coming up against something that is keeping them, some evil does not want them to succeed at what they are doing. So often it's pastors, ministry leaders, people who maybe aren't either pastors or ministry leaders, but might be in a leadership role where they are a known Christian, and so their witness, I guess, is kind of at work trying to be, the enemy's trying to mar their witness for Jesus. It's often people who are trying to do some level of ministry, whether it's private ministry or public ministry. And so if you hear somebody who is really struggling in a situation, that is the sign, at least as far as my experience has shown or experienced. That's the sign that that person needs intercessory prayer, because it's often those people that, as they're stuck in a storm, they can't see their way out. I liken this to a storm and like a hurricane. With the eye of the center of the storm, the only direction that we can see clearly is up, and that's where the eye of the storm is, and you can see past the clouds and see to the sun. And that would be a person praying directly to God in the middle of the storm. But while you're in the middle of the storm, you're often disoriented. You can't tell which way you should be going. And often you are really struggling to stay on your 2 feet. And so for those of us who are friends to those people, that would be our cue to step in and lift them up in prayer, because we are not in the center of the storm, and we can often see, just like a weather person can see clearly where the storm is headed and what the details of the storm that the person in the storm can't get because they are the ones stuck. So that's the sign to step in and pray. So when you see something going on, that's the time to either figure out from the person who's in the middle of the storm what it is that they could most use help on, or just pray for them based on what you can see, because often it's when you're in the middle of the storm that you don't even know yourself what to pray. That happens to me often in situations that I'm struggling to succeed at, and I am stuck trying to figure out, I don't even know what kind of prayer I need. And often I have a hard time praying for myself in those situations. And so people who are often leading and stuck will not even know what kind of prayer that they need. So it's good to pray for insight yourself as a fellow believer. Ask God to lead you in praying for that person and understanding what they might need in terms of intercession. So you can pray for the obvious stuff, that they would be protected with the armor of God in the battle that they're engaged in, that they would feel the grace of God upon them as they experience His righteousness because of their forgiveness of sins and all that kind of stuff. Look at all the basics that we need whenever we're living life in a strong way. Pray that on behalf of the person who needs it really badly. So intercession, it's something that we all need, and in particular if you are leading in some level of ministry at church or quietly, like in your household as a mother. Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive, the ministry of motherhood is a really challenging training ground. So even if it's a quiet ministry like motherhood, it's quiet to everybody else, it's not quiet to the mother. Even stuff like that, that's something where you really need to intercede for the person. Depression, that's something that I've prayed a lot about in our household and for other people, and we've got a lot of that going on in our culture right now. So thanks for listening.